See you later.
See ya.
Hi. Can I ask you just a few more questions?
Whatever, man.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
There's no such thing. Not around here.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? No such thing. I tell you for sure.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Don't talk like that around here, man.
Do you know anything about veves?
Like the ones in the voodoo rituals they do for the tourists.
Right.
They curiosities, no? This a curio shop.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Man, I don't even know what language that is.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Damballa is an African legend about a great serpent. Folklore, that's all.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me.
What? I have $120. You still want to sell that crocodile mask?
That's 120 sure enough. That mask is yours, sir. Here you go. Careful it don't bite you now.
Yeah, thanks.
Now don't you go forgetting your lagniappe. A free bottle of Master Gambling Oil.
The sign said I could get Lady Luck oil instead.
Well, I was thinking a man as young as you wouldn't be needing that kind of remedy. But, you's having problems with your,
That's all right. Believe me, I don't need it. I'll just stick with this. Thanks anyway.
'Cause it ain't none of my business if you do need it now, huh?
I don't need it.
Oh, of course you don't.
A street drummer has found a spot outside the Napoleon House.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Sure. I'm not too busy at the moment.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Don't believe in it myself. I invented a drink once called Laveau's Tomb, but it wasn't very popular. Some people do believe, though. Even some of our regulars here at Napoleon House.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
It's all over the papers. Some kind of serial killings.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
They say a lot of voodoo stuff is found near the bodies.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Everybody's talking about it. It's starting to scare off the tourists.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Greatest city in the world. I never want to live anywhere else.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
This city must get about 1 million tourists a year, especially around Mardi Gras.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
A lot of people come here because they think it's mysterious. All that talk about voodoo.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
You should probably find a book on the subject, you know?
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
All I know is it's some kind of voodoo holiday.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
People who believe in that stuff think it's a real special night. Magical.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What about them?
No, just anything.
You ask the weirdest questions. I don't know anything about snakes.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
Sure, she's kind of the patron saint of voodoo in New Orleans. Don't know too much about her, but the tourists sure get off on all that stuff.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
There's a voodoo museum in town. They'd know more about it than I do.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Come Mardi Gras, you see all kinds of masks in here.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? No, I prefer not to think about that kind of stuff personally. Crime, perversion, weirdos, just makes me depressed.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Never heard of it.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
Are you kidding? Around here? Hope they aren't serving drinks.
Well, if they are, I don't think anyone in his right mind would want one. Does the phrase Caprice encore mean anything to you?
Never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
You know what goes in it?
I don't think it's a drink.
Oh, then I probably don't know anything about it.
Tell me about yourself.
A good bartender listens to other people's life stories without telling his own.
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
See those old guys at the chess table? That's Sam and Marcus. They've played there every day for 20 years. Sam, the one with the purple jacket, he's lost every one of those games. It's not that he's a bad player. I've seen him beat guys twice as good as Marcus. But Marcus has Sam so psyched out, he loses his nerve every time. By the way, Sam, the chess player, he's into that voodoo stuff. He's always talking about spells and gree-gree and such.
Really? Thanks. What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
This crowd, the ones you see, are mostly regulars. That guy and girl in the corner come here a lot. When they're not fighting, they're all over each other. In other words, they're in love.
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
I'd call you a regular, Gabe. And one of our local writer celebrities, too. Been coming in here, what, 10 years now?
Oh, don't remind me.
We're still waiting for that bestseller.
Don't hold your breath. What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
That's about all I can say about this crowd.
So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
Well, about 50 years ago, Sam was too shy to talk to this pretty girl he was in love with. He went to a voodoo-ien and had her make him a love charm. It was a little pouch that he had to bury under the girl's front porch. Well, he buried the pouch, and the next day he went up and talked to the girl. And sure enough, she didn't reject him. Now she's his wife, poor guy.
So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
That's about all I can remember.
Hi, how's it going?
It's been worse.
Business picking up?
Some, mostly locals, as usual.
You ever get tired of tending bar for a living?
Never thought much about doing anything else.
Tell me about the street musicians around here.
I like music as much as the next guy, but they get pretty monotonous sometimes, you know? Like that drummer right outside. They say there's been a drummer outside Napoleon House since the day it opened. Now, I like drums, but this character really gets on my nerves. It sounds like the same thing over and over. I just want to say enough already.
Sounds like my life. Tell me about the street musicians around here.
Don't know what else I could say.
A man in a loud tie stares morosely at a chessboard.
Excuse me, I hate to interrupt your game, but could I ask you a few questions?
What game? This ain't a game, it's a slaughter.
He's right, you know. So let me die in peace, would you?
Got a second, Sam? It's about your game.
I don't have a game, that's my problem. Don't you touch those chess pieces while I'm gone, bastard.
I ain't never needed to cheat yet, you loser.
Thought you might be interested in this gambling oil.
Let me see that. Master Gambling Oil. What's it for?
Don't you ever wonder why Marcus wins every time?
Whoa, hold it. You really think Marcus uses this stuff?
Would I make something like that up?
Get out of here. Marcus would never use something like this.
Well, if that's what you want to believe. This is a powerful voodoo oil.
Ah, go on. Really?
This voodoo oil could make a nun get lucky.
Really? You think it really works, huh?
I'd stake my reputation as a novelist on it.
And you say Marcus uses this? That explains a lot. Let me see that bottle. This looks authentic.
Oh, it is.
If I could really beat that bastard. Stonewall, give me a Pim's cup, would you?
Coming up, Sam.
How much you think I ought to put in here?
Careful, you don't want to overdo it. Too much luck can be dangerous.
Ha! There's no such thing as too much. Now stand back.
Come on already, I'm ready to checkmate.
We'll see about that, Mr. Smarty Big Mouth. Checkmate! Checkmate, you bastard!
Son of a bitch.
20 years I've been waiting to say that. Checkmate! Checkmate! Checkmate!
You are the biggest butthead, Sam Singleton, that I have ever met.
Checkmate!
You can just put that chessboard where the sun don't shine.
Hallelujah! I did it! Yippee!
Nice game.
Nice game! Hell, I was brilliant! Of course, I gotta give some of the credit to that oil of yours. I've been losing to that guy for 20 years. If you ever need a favor, you come to Sam, you hear?
Will do. Could you do anything with this?
What is this, a clay mold? Well, I am a jeweler, you know. And I owe you one. Would you like me to cast this for you?
If you can.
You got it, pal. Actually, it'll be a pleasure to get my tools out. First time in years. I've been too busy playing that goddamn game. I'll have the bracelet later today. Right now, I feel like I could do anything. Meet me here in a few hours.
Great, thanks.
Knight, hate to tell you this, but you're out of a book. The Voodoo murders case has been closed.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that. Son of a bitch. I have to tell you, Bud, I'm pretty pissed off about this case being closed. You guys are making a big mistake.
Hey, I'm not any happier about it than you are, Knight, but I've got my orders.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
Look, the department's not interested.
So, couldn't you make them interested?
With what? I got 7 bodies and still no leads. The voodoo angle's worthless, and besides, these people aren't hurting anybody but out-of-town drug dealers and hitmen.
The voodoo stuff is not worthless. It's the key to the whole thing. And these people are dangerous. They need to be stopped.
Okay, you want me to reopen this case? Prove what you just said.
What do you mean?
You need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
I already told you. You still need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult. Prove that they're... Get...
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Animal masks? You mean like those Halloween masks they sometimes use in robberies?
I don't think so. More like real animals.
Never ran across anything like that.
Do you know anything about veves?
What?
Veves. They're ritualistic patterns used in voodoo. You know, like those marks we found around the body.
You know what the department says about that, Knight? That voodoo stuff is faked.
Yeah, well, they're wrong. These veves...
Look, just stop worrying about those marks. I don't think they're relevant.
What do you know about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? Sounds like a put-on to me.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
You mean gumbo?
No, I mean Damballa.
Never heard of it.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
Oh, come on. Somebody's pulling your leg, Knight.
Are you sure?
Ain't nothing secret about voodoo in Narlands. There's a museum, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but that's the stuff they want you to see.
You're getting mighty paranoid, Knight.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
I told you, you're nuts. Drop it.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Say what?
Ogun Badagri. It's a voodoo Loa.
Speak English or shut up, Knight.
Sorry, didn't mean to confuse you. Guess I'll take that as a no. Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No? Is that anything like a Chuck Yeager?
I don't think there's any relation. Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Not since the last time you asked.
Tell me about...
What do you want to talk about that? Besides, you already know.
How can I...
Prove.
I'm gonna hit the road.
Ciao, baby.
That's Crash. What the hell is he up to with that drummer? Huh, Crash and the drummer. Interesting. Sam, my man.
Hey there, it's you. I got that bracelet for you. This piece was a real toughie. For some reason, the metal just wasn't setting. I must be out of practice.
Well, it looks good to me. Thanks, Sam.
No problem. By the way, I'm heading out of town tonight.
Yeah? Where to?
Marcus used to tell me that if I ever beat him at chess, he'd take me around the world. The old bastard has enough money stuffed in his mattress to cover the federal deficit, and he hates spending a penny of it. I'm going to enjoy watching him squirm through every mile.
Sounds like fun. Good luck.
Are you kidding? Luck is my middle name.
Crash is huddled in a pew. He looks seriously ill.
I need to talk to you. Ask you some questions.
No way, man. I'm too sick. Go away.
Come on. I have to know what you know about these voodoo people.
You don't know nothing about nothing, man. You are so far out of it, you wouldn't understand anything. Just like that friend of yours, Mosley. Go away.
I'm not like Mosley. I know more than you think I do. I'll believe you.
Forget it, man. It's not worth my breath.
Do you recognize this?
Where did you get that?
Why? Do you know something about it?
Know something about it? Look at this.
Crash opens his shirt and reveals a tattoo.
It's the same snake.
It's their sign, man. The mark of the snake. Without it, they'll never let you get close.
The sign of the snake, right. Your tattoo, my bracelet. Now do you believe that I know something about these people?
All right, yeah. You know about them. I guess.
Will you answer some questions for me now?
Okay, I'll talk to you. A little, but make it fast.
Tell me what you know about voodoo.
Look, take some advice. Stay away from this voodoo shit. You don't really want to know, man. Believe me. Do yourself a favor and leave me alone.
Come on, tell me what you know about voodoo.
I told you, man. Leave me alone. Can't you see I'm dying?
I want to know about the voodoo murders.
You're on the right track. That's all I can say. I'm not gonna risk my life by talking about it, man.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Man, can't you see I'm sick? Don't bug me with stupid questions.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
No! Don't say that name.
Why not?
It's evil, man.
Do you know anything about snakes?
The eyes. Snake's eyes. Damballa.
Okay, calm down. What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
Nothing. Just leave me alone.
Do you have any idea what Capri San Call means?
I never heard of that.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
I don't know her. Honest.
Tell me what you know about a secret voodoo hound fall in New Orleans.
Oh, man. Just shut up about that. Can't you see I'm sick? Are you trying to kill me?
Tell me what you know about a secret voodoo...
I told you. I'm not gonna talk about that. Go away.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
No. Leave me alone about that shit.
What do you mean? You've seen them, haven't you?
No, not me. Leave me alone.
Tell me about the animal masks you've seen.
I said drop it, man.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? What the hell is that? Voodoo's voodoo, man.
Tell me what you know about Damballa.
No, don't say that word. They'll hear you.
They who?
Shut up, man.
Tell me what you know about...
I told you. I can't talk about it.
Do you know anything about Veves?
I never heard of that.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
I never heard of that.
Oh, you look pretty sick. Shouldn't you be in a hospital?
No, a hospital wouldn't do nothing. Just leave me alone.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm sick. Dying. Eating the big enchilada, man. What the fuck else matters?
I saw you talking to that drummer. What did you tell him?
You saw me with the drummer? Nobody's supposed to see. Oh, shit. I blew it again. Promise you won't say nothing to no one. It'll get back to him. Everything does. Promise me you won't tell anyone you saw me.
Okay, but you have to tell me everything I want to know.
Okay, alright. I was sending a message, man. They have these Rada drummers posted around the quarter. They see everything, and they report.
Report? How?
The drums, man. It's some kind of code.
Now tell me what you know about voodoo.
All I know is these people are into some weird shit. They have power. Real power. They can write your name on a piece of paper, chew it, and you end up like minced meat, like you've been through a grinder. They know things in their heads, things that no one ever knew about you. They know when you lie. They can smell it. They are fucking scary, man. I don't know if it's the devil or what, but it ain't no fake shit, man. It's real.
Crash, tell me more about this voodoo cartel.
I told you all.
Now tell me about the voodoo murders.
They did the murders. And that's not the only way they kill. No, they can get you from miles away, just by saying your name.
Come on, you don't really believe that, do you?
No, I seen it, man. You can't cross them.
Tell me...
There's nothing...
Tell me about the Rada drums.
I already told you about that.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
They always meet outside somewhere that night. I saw them last year. Dancing and howling. You don't want to be anywhere near them.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I told you everything I know about.
Tell me what you know about a secret voodoo hound fall in New Orleans.
Alright. There's this underground cartel in New Orleans. A voodoo cartel. They control everything that happens on the street. I mean everything that's bought or sold. They have fingers in the legit world too. Banks, foreign stuff, you name it. There's supposed to be this temple. What you said, a hound for. That's their headquarters, man. I heard people say it's underground. Somewhere in the quarter. I don't know where, though.
Have you ever been there?
No. I've never been in it. I'm nobody, man. A runner. But I saw them once. Out at the lake. They became animals, man. Beasts. I remember the eyes. The eyes.
Hey, are you okay?
The eyes. The eyes of the snake.
I think I should go get a doctor. Hey, are you all right? Someone! I need help!
The eyes. The eyes of the snake. Dambala.
Crash?
Crash spasms twice more, then dies as Gabriel watches.
Oh my God. Oh, poor bastard.
On Crash's chest is a tattoo of a snake.
That tattoo looks like Casino's bracelet. I guess I'd better copy this tattoo.
Crash's face shows signs of strangulation. His death was not a pleasant one. Moving the body is the job of the coroner's office. It's getting late. Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
Hello?
It's me. I can't sleep.
Oh, me neither.
Can I...
Yes. Come.
Are you okay, Gabriel?
Sure. Great. Why?
I'm worried about you.
If I were any better, Grace, I'd be dead. Now what's up?
You got another package this morning, overnight from Germany.
I was expecting that. Where is it?
Well, it kind of came open, but I salvaged the contents. There was a letter from your great-uncle Wolfgang and a journal.
The package just came open, huh? How'd you like the journal?
Someone has to look after you. You're in trouble, in case you didn't know it.
Yeah, you've been reading my horoscope again, haven't you, Grace?
Just read the journal carefully, Gabriel. Please.
I got it. St. George's book. Oh, Professor Hartridge. I'm glad you called. Did you? Oh, you did. You did. Oh, wait. Slow down. The agree. Really? You think that's them? Wheel within a wheel. Ogun Badagri, huh? Well, that does sound like it. Damballa, the snake. That's the wavy pattern at the bottom. Okay. The 1791 slave revolt in Santo Domingo? Well, why would the Veve show up there? Uh-huh. Okay. Look, I'll come over as soon as I can, okay? Relax, Professor. I'm excited too, but you're gonna give yourself a heart attack. Okay, thanks. See ya.
I wish you'd tell me what's going on. I swear you're gonna step into a hole you may never get out of.
Don't look so worried. No one knows what I'm doing. I'm perfectly safe, and I'm getting some great stuff for the book. Besides, there's something about all this. My dreams.
What about your dreams?
Oh, nothing. I'll be careful. I promise. Did you find out anything about that pattern I gave you?
Yeah, I did find something. I checked the microfiche at the public library. I found an article about a murder in 1810. The newspaper published part of a pattern found around the body. It looks damn close.
You're incredible. All that work.
Forget it.
The box has Gabriel's name on it, written in his grandmother's handwriting. The newspaper clipping describes a ritualistic murder in Congo Square. It includes a rough sketch of a pattern found around the body. The sketch is very similar to the reconstructed Veve.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
Could you research Rada drums for me?
Rada drums? Sure. I don't think we have any books on that topic in the shop, but I'll contact our suppliers. Assuming any of them will extend you any credit.
Tell them it's an emergency.
Uh-huh. I can see where a Rada drum book would be incredibly urgent. Anything else?
I can't think of anything. How do you feel about New Orleans these days?
I'd rather be anywhere else in the world right now.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? Never heard of it. Must be a local custom. New Orleanians love to party.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Caux means?
No. Sounds French, though.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Ugh, no. Makes my skin crawl, though.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
No, sorry.
Do you know anything about Veves?
Not a clue.
Ritual patterns used in voodoo.
Fascinating. I can't help you out, though.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I'd rather not hear about your sex life, Knight.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
In New Orleans?
I think so.
No, I don't, but it sounds dangerous. You're not gonna try to find this voodoo group yourself, are you?
Would I do that? Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? Ugh, now what are you getting yourself into?
Nothing you need to know about, do you?
I know there are dark forms of any major religion. Where there's a yin, there's a yang.
Speaking of yin and yang...
But no, I don't know anything really about voodoo, dark or otherwise, sorry.
Are you sure you don't know anything about black voodoo?
You are desperate. I told you I can't help you.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Wasn't she a big voodoo queen before the Civil War?
That's right.
Well, you've just heard everything I know about her.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No. Is that a voodoo word?
I don't think so. It's German.
No, sorry. I don't speak German.
Do you have messages for me?
I've given...
Times dated June 22nd, 1993. Disgusted with the state of the voodoo murder case, Gabriel turns right to his horoscope. The shadow upon you is no longer reversible.
Wonderful. This guy's really starting to bug me.
No kidding. I have a feeling if he can see us, they can see us.
Get the hell out of here.
The figure outside does not respond. Wolfgang's letter says,
Dear Gabriel, please read the enclosed journal carefully. It might help you understand your family's special obligations and our current predicament. God be with you. Uncle Wolfgang.
Gabriel reads through the pages Wolfgang marked. He reads of Gunter Ritter's journey to Charleston as a witch hunter, hired by the townsmen to solve a series of ritualistic murders. He reads about Gunter's meeting with the beautiful slave woman, Tetelo, and of Gunter's tormenting urges for her.
Poor bastard.
He reads of their physical union and passion, and of Gunter's investigation into the murders. The victims were all crew members on a certain slaving expedition to Africa, it seems. The second to the last entry describes Gunter's plan to set a trap for the coven committing the murders. He'd found a name on one of the surviving members of the crew, a man now living in the West Indies. Gunter has spread a false rumor that the man is returning to Charleston. He himself will impersonate a sailor and allow himself to fall into the hands of the coven. Naturally, Gunter has arranged for able-bodied assistants to follow and attack the coven before they can do him harm.
Ballsy son of a bitch, wasn't he?
Gabriel turns to the final entry of the journal.
I'm out of here. Try not to sell out the store while I'm gone.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Partridge, what's the good word? Partridge? Ah! Oh, God, not again. He's looked better. Damn, this is his notepad, but the top sheet's been taken. Hartridge's notes. This must be about the Veve. Thank God Hartridge was a doodler. Nothing else looked...
Before leaving the university, Gabriel notifies campus security about Hartridge's body. A flyer advertising magenta moonbeam.
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me about.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait! Gabriel Knight.
You're too quick for me.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can help.
A large, sluggish snake rests on the floor of the fancy bird cage. Apparently, Magenta is not a fastidious housekeeper. A shed skin shares the cage with its original owner.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spells and charms are powerful, and they work.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Much of a voodooienne's work is protecting her clients from the spells of others. I mix special protective gree-gree to be worn in secret. They keep evil spells from working against my clients.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
The recipes for voodoo charms have been handed down from master to apprentice for centuries.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I have told you all it is proper for you to know, Mr. Knight.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele. But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there. Very bad.
So you don't think the voodoo aspects of the case are fake?
Fake? Let me tell you about fake. If I get information through the grapevine and make use of it, is that fake? No. That is part of a voodooienne's power. If people don't believe, there's not much I can do. But if they do believe, that is a part of my power too. But there are things, monsieur. Things not even a little bit fake, I can tell you. Believe it or not, but stay away from it.
What do you mean? Do you know something about the case?
I work hard on fine-tuning my spiritual antennae, Monsieur Knight. And I get a clear signal from that direction. Beware.
What can you tell me about Nolans?
Nolans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
What can you tell me about Nolans?
It is a fascinating city with many dark secrets.
What can you tell me about Nolans?
It is my favorite place in the world.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? You mean like my beloved Grimwald? She's a python, you know. Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
Tell me more about snakes.
Oh, I wouldn't want to give away my trade secrets.
Do you have any idea what Cabris and Call means?
No, I don't.
Do you know anything about Bebes?
I don't know anything about that.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, yes. She was the first of the great voodoo queens.
Give me an example of Gris-Gris.
All right, here's an old one. Take a lodestone and some brimstone to a crossroads at midnight. Light the brimstone with a match. A spirit will come and give you advice in gambling.
Give me an example of Gris-Gris.
Here's an old hoodoo doctor, Gris-Gris. Place a dime under your client's tongue. If the client is under a spell of any kind, the dime will turn black.
Give me an example of Gris-Gris.
To send someone away, take a rotten egg and write that person's name on it 9 times. You can also write on it where you want to send that person to. Take it and throw it against his door at midnight.
Give me an example of Gris-Gris.
Here's a nasty one. To kill someone, get a sock or shoe that belongs to that person. Put graveyard dirt in it and bury it under their front steps.
Does that work?
I don't know. I never tried it.
Give me an example of Gris-Gris.
To ensure the safety of your child, cut a lock of its hair while it is still a baby and keep it with you. The child must have all its hair before it can die.
These are interesting.
They're very old. The Gris-Gris that I prepare is much more powerful, I can assure you. But I don't give out those secrets.
Tell me about yourself.
Yes? What would you like to hear?
How did you get into this business?
I trained in the voodoo arts for many years with the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Who's she?
You have never heard of her? For shame. I can see you know little of the world of magic.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes. What kind of people come to see you?
Seekers after the truth, such as yourself.
Do you do anything else?
I'm a voodooian. That is plenty. It takes much spiritual effort.
How many voodooians are there?
No one knows exactly. Many practice in secret. There are probably hundreds. But of course, the level and the power of the voodooians differ greatly, depending on their training and natural gifts.
Tell me anything at all.
I haven't always lived in Nolens. I came here from Kansas as a young woman.
Tell me anything at all.
I began studying voodoo more than 20 years ago. I'm well versed in the magical arts.
I can't think of anything.
Very well.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndful?
There are many voodoo churches in Nolens, no?
Yes, but have you heard of a secret voodoo houndful?
Wherever did you hear such a ridiculous story? There is no such thing.
Have you ever heard the word Schattenjäger?
I don't know anything about that.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
I don't know anything about that.
Does Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
I don't know anything about that.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
It is the oldest, darkest heart of voodoo.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
There are some things it's better not to know about, Monsieur Knight.
Tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
Tell me about the animal masks.
I saw them used once or twice when I was younger, but you don't see them much anymore. They're too close.
Too close to what?
Just bad karma.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve. It is the greatest night of the voodoo year. There is always a traditional conclave on St. John's Eve. Most of our voodoo churches these days hold functions in the church hall. But in the old days, they had ceremonies out in the wild. They wore animal masks and had a huge bonfire and dancing. I used to go when I was an apprentice. Sometimes in the swamp, you know, Bayou St. John. Sometimes at the lake, Lake Pontchartrain.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Where did you get Grimwald?
She belonged to a traveling reptile show. She was being terribly mistreated, so I offered to buy her. She's named after a spirit guide I had once. The spirit Grimwald was a very powerful female snake priestess in Egyptian times.
Grimwald doesn't sound Egyptian.
I only know what the spirits tell me, monsieur. I am sure they know better than we.
How did you learn how to handle Grimwald?
I told you, a great voodoo queen taught me. She learned from Marie Laveau herself.
Uh-huh. Fascinating. Would you consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
No, I couldn't do that. You might do some gree-gree of your own, no? One must be very careful with such things. Hair clippings, nail parings, and snake scales.
Are you sure you wouldn't consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
I told you, I couldn't do that.
How about showing me how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
That would be swell.
No matter what you see, do not be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.
Gabriel grabs the shed snake skin while Magenta is otherwise occupied. Gabriel magnifies the shed skin from Magenta Moonbeam snake. The snake scales are hued brown. They don't match the scales from Lake Pontchartrain.
There. Truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it. Do these symbols mean anything to you?
The voodoo code. It is very secret, yes. I studied it with my mentor, the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Great. Can you tell me what it says?
I'm afraid I could never translate this code for an outsider such as yourself, Monsieur Knight.
Are you sure you can't translate this for me?
As I said, it's a very secret code.
Surely you can see I'm trying to learn as much as I can here. How am I supposed to become an insider if you won't help me?
That's true, I suppose. Perhaps if the Loa were to grant you their approval.
How do I get that?
By using my Ask the Loa machine.
A machine?
Yes. A spirit guided me to it years ago in an antique store. And its guidance has never faltered. I trust it implicitly.
I see.
The spirits often work in mysterious ways, Mr. Knight. If you aren't willing to ask...
No, I'll ask. Let's see here.
Well done, Mr. Knight. You have earned the Loire's approval.
Truly, it's an honor. Now, about that code.
Let me see. Well, some of it is nonsense, I'm afraid. Whoever wrote this wasn't very good.
That's all right. Just tell me what it says.
It starts with a D and J. Then... okay, this part makes sense. It says, Conclave tonight. Bring... well, then there's more nonsense. F-W-E-T-K-A-S-H. The last bit might mean cash. Fresh cash? Doesn't make much sense.
That's okay. Thanks. D.J. Conclave K-A-S-H. It's a start.
I'm happy I could help.
Well, I guess I'll be going now.
As you wish. Peace and harmony be yours.
Right. Why is it so dark in here? Dr. John? Hello? Uh-oh. You bastard!
Good day, Mr. Knight.
That thing just tried to kill me.
He did. I am sorry. The museum is closed today, you see. We were not expecting visitors. But if you will excuse me, Mr. Knight, I must go look for him. He is incredibly valuable.
You don't need to ask twice. I'm out of here. By the way, you might want to lock your door the next time you're closed.
Not a bad idea. Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
What happened to you?
Who, me? Nothing. Why?
You're kind of a pale green color. Come here.
Pale green, you say? Charming.
What's that on your face?
I'm sure you'll tell me.
Looks like a sparkly or something. Got it.
I love it when you pick stuff off my face, Grace.
Well, excuse me.
There's something in the ashtray. There's a snake scale in the ashtray. Gabriel finds a snake scale in the ashtray. It's a souvenir from the museum's python. He places the two scales together. The two iridescent scales are a perfect match.
I'll be back later.
Have fun.
Three nearly identical little girls are playing jump rope outside the station. There's something a little off about them.
Mostly, my man.
It's you. God help me.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
Crash is dead.
What? What are you talking about? I let him go yesterday.
Yeah, and I watched him die yesterday at St. Louis Cathedral.
At the cathedral? I guess he was trying to get a last-minute A-train ticket, huh? Poor bastard.
I think you should go find the body at the morgue. He was killed by the voodoo cult. Crash said...
Crash said? What, he mentioned pink elephants too?
Aren't you going to investigate?
Civilians. Did you actually see someone kill him?
No, actually I was with him when he died. Could have been poison, though.
Yeah, well, when they get the body in, they'll do a quick autopsy, standard procedure. If it's anything other than an overdose, I'll get a report.
There's been another murder. A professor at Tulane.
Oh, Christ. You're not gonna start this again.
Just listen. This guy's name is Hartridge. He was a professor in African Studies at Tulane. Yesterday, I went to see him about the voodoo murders case. He agreed to do some research for me. He calls me up this morning, tells me he's on to something big, and when I get over there, the guy's dead.
You know, you're really getting your ass in a sling over this thing, Knight.
It's not about me. Look, Hartridge's death looked just like Crash's. I'm telling you, they were both murdered, and by the same people who did the voodoo murders.
Did either Crash or this new guy have their hearts ripped out?
No.
Then there's nothing to link either to the voodoo murders M.O. Besides that, the case is closed, Knight. If the coroner's report asks for a homicide investigation on either of these guys, fine. But it's not going to be related to the voodoo murders case unless we find damn good reason to do so.
But I'm the link to the voodoo murders case. Don't you see?
Look, if I were you, I wouldn't repeat that to anyone. Because if I weren't an old friend of yours, I might take you seriously and lock you up. As it is, maybe you should start keeping your mouth shut and not involve other people with this shit if you think it's so dangerous.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
I already told you. You still need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Prove...
those marks you found around the murder victims? This is a reconstruction of the whole pattern.
What makes you think this is an accurate reconstruction?
Well, I borrowed the partial patterns from your police file and did my own tracing of the pattern at Lake Pontchartrain. An architectural artist reconstructed it for me from the partials.
Really? So this is the whole pattern, huh? That's pretty good work, Knight, but that doesn't prove that this pattern is really connected to voodoo.
This is a newspaper clipping about a murder committed in 1810. That murder is an exact match of the voodoo murders, right down to the marks around the bodies.
This does sound like the same M.O. 1810.
1810. They killed then, they're killing now. Isn't that proof that they're likely to kill again? Or that they are a threat?
Sure, if there is a voodoo cult, they're a threat.
I have these two snake scales. One's from the crime scene at Lake Pontchartrain. The other's from a snake in the Voodoo Museum on Ursulines and Charters.
Is this common? Do they all look alike?
Not at all. They're both constrictor scales and the coloring is the same. A python's coloring is quite individualistic.
A python?
That's right. Hardly an indigenous snake to Louisiana. Somehow, some way, the Voodoo Museum's python was at the scene of the Lake Pontchartrain murder.
Well, I'd call that a lead, all right. It definitely suggests certain lines of inquiry at the museum. Not bad work, Knight. Whether or not the museum's involved with a legitimate voodoo cult, though, is another matter. These guys may just be faking it, too.
Can I ask you,
You're the right.
how can I convince you to reopen the case?
I already told you. You still need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Gnarly.
I have this. Take a look at these notes. They're from Professor Hartridge at Tulane University.
Yeah? What about them?
They confirm that the pattern for the murders is of African origin.
Really? That's incredible, isn't it? Something like that showing up here.
It's been here for quite some time, so it seems.
I'm impressed. Okay, you convinced me. The murders were done by a legitimate voodoo cult. Okay, I'll reopen the case. I hate to admit it, but you've done some pretty good detective work here, Knight.
Well, you know what they say. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Well, point taken. Glad I could inspire you. I'll check around the department, but I have a feeling I'm on my own. I'll be in touch. Meanwhile, you stay out of trouble. I mean it.
I'll try. Thanks, bud.
Now lay low and let me handle this.
Yeah, fine.
It's getting late. Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
Damn. What is it? What's wrong?
Gabriel!
I see it, Grace. Hold on. There's no one in the shop, and I know there's no one in the back. It's okay.
Okay? Gabriel, that thing is still barely alive. How could someone do this?
With a knife, maybe?
Oh, God, don't even start. We should call the police.
No, I'll take care of it.
But, Gabriel...
I said I'll take care of it. Why don't you go get some coffee? I'll have it all cleaned up before you get back.
They know where you live now.
Shh, it's gonna be fine. Now go on. Are you sure you don't want to go home? I could close the shop today.
No, I'd rather keep busy. I'll be fine. At least that creepy guy is gone. Not that they aren't still watching. Anyway, speaking of keeping busy, we got that book you ordered in this morning. The one on Rada drums.
Really? Great.
Gabriel!
I see it. Stay back.
Special delivery, it seems. Gabriel opens the envelope and finds a note from Mosley in a small brass key. Mosley's note says,
Gabe, I have to go underground with this thing. It runs wide and deep throughout the department and the city board. I'm already being watched. It was suggested that I take vacation time, so I am, at least as far as they know. Try to keep out of this. It's too hot for a rookie. Just in case, I'm sending you my office key. You might find some useful things there. P.S. I think this note will look great in the book, don't you? Make sure you save it.
the note is signed by Mosley. Times dated June 23rd, 1993. Gabriel finds an article about St. John's Eve. It discusses the day's Catholic roots and its adoption by voodoo devotees. In the early to mid-1800s, St. John's Eve was celebrated with elaborate voodoo gatherings at Lake Pontchartrain, Bayou St. John, and other sites outside the city. These days, the day is commemorated commercially in some of the local shops, and a few churches still hold a St. John's Eve Mass. Despite his better judgment, Gabriel reads his horoscope. Today you will either die, or your life will change forever.
Sure, why not? It is St. John's Eve. They'll be out tonight for sure. But where? I'm going out for a bit.
Be careful.
You're back. You know, you really freaked me out running off like that. Anybody home?
Stay away from Malia Gede, or you shall pay with your life.
What the hell is going on?
Gabriel listens carefully to the drum and opens his Rada book to translate. If Gabriel's translation of the drum code is correct...
There'll be a conclave tonight in the swamp. That must be the bayou.
An abandoned car sits in front of the police station, one tire removed.
Oh, God. That's awful. That dead bird doesn't look like an accident. A warning? Not a chance. It might come in handy.
You got no business back there now. Move along.
Interesting design for a trash can. Must have been on sale at Cops R Us.
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
We don't have a Detective Mosley here.
What? I've seen him here all week.
Listen to what I'm saying. We don't have a Detective Mosley on the force.
It's stuck. I need a tool of some kind. All right, I'm going in. It's locked. This tracker might come in handy. What the hell was that? Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
Do you know of anything interesting going on this evening?
You mean St. John's Eve? Mr. Knight, I know of nothing that you would find amusing.
Could I ask you some more questions?
No.
The voodoo shrine is filled with items that both fascinate Gabriel and also make his skin crawl.
Professor Hartridge called this a Sakei Madule.
Gabriel slips the signal device into the Sakei Madole.
Can I assist you, Mr. Knight?
No, just looking.
Now if only they take the coffin to the ritual.
I hate to rush you, Mr. Knight, but I am afraid I must close the museum early this evening. This is St. John's Eve, and it's getting on towards dusk. I have things I must do.
I see. No problem. I'll just,
Leave. Goodbye, Mr. Knight. May the spirits guard you well tonight.
A new series of crosses is on the wall.
let me get these new marks down. I should check this against the code Madame Moonbeam translated for me. Maybe I can figure out what this new message says.
Using that on the... Gabriel can't put his sketch back on. Using data. Gabriel can't put his... Gabriel checks the two messages for duplicate symbols and transfers the letters from the matches to the new message. He finds that he has the translation for all of the symbols except for 3. Using that. The wall doesn't work that. The wall does. Gabriel can't take it. A second message.
I think I'll leave a message of my own.
sense in Daddy's message. with his message? Gabriel tosses the brick down. Now if only DJ reads it in time.
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
The excitement of seeing you is killing me.
Will you do me a favor?
What?
Use your paints to copy this snake tattoo onto my chest.
Now why on earth would you want me to do that?
I'm going to a party tonight. Costume, you know.
You don't say. I guess you're going with Malia.
Yeah. That's right.
And why should I help you out when I don't even like Malia?
Well, if you're jealous about my feelings for her...
You know that's not it. I just think, as your friend, that she's trouble.
It's perfectly understandable. I know that you have certain feelings for me, quite naturally.
Me? I would rather be hung by my hair over a bed of scorpions.
I know it must be hard having it in your face like this. No chance to avoid hearing about it, seeing it day by day.
Fine, I'll do it. Just shut up. Can we at least go in the back?
Sure, but could you say that one more time and pout your lips more?
Ugh.
What'd I say?
All right, let's go. The shirt, please.
You don't know how long I've been waiting for this moment.
Now. Hold still.
Maybe you'd like to tie me up.
One more remark and I'm leaving.
Okay, okay.
Done. It's just stunning.
Sorry I couldn't make it last longer.
Well, it was about what I expected from you.
I'm going out for a bit.
Be careful.
It would be useless to turn the tracker. This device is called a tracker. Gabriel remembers a time when he and Mosley used it illegally with a couple of babes in a white convertible. It operates as follows. The signal device attaches to an object such as a car. The signal device emits a signal that appears on the tracker LED, allowing the object to be tracked. That's not the way it... It's a signal. Gabriel pulls out the tracking device, hoping that the Sakay Madelay made it to the ritual and that this thing will work.
All right, there's a blip. They must be here with the second module. Damn Mosley and his infernal machine. This better be working.
Bayou St. John. The entrance to the clearing is marked with voodoo skulls. At last.
When in Rome. Here goes nothing.
Welcome, Brother Crocodile. Please join the other celebrants.
Yes, Dr. John, Brother Eagle.
But first, name the great serpent who crushes all in his coils.
Damballa.
You are correct, Brother Crocodile. Who is the destroyer of men?
Ogun Badagri.
You are correct, Brother Crocodile. Enjoy yourself well tonight. Ha ha ha.
Gabriel!
Malia?
I know you now. I can smell his blood in your veins.
No.
You cannot change your destiny or ours.
No.
I will find you. I will destroy you.
No.
Where is your necklace now, witch hunter? Where are your pretty, pretty gems?
Gabriel! Gabriel, wake up!
Ow, my head.
Oh, it's about time. I've been trying to wake you up for hours. There's no time to lose.
I had another dream.
It wasn't a dream, believe me. Now come on, get dressed.
Wait a minute. I'm starting to remember. Something about Malia.
She's the head priestess of the Voodoo Cartel. They're responsible for the murders. They've been doing it for years.
Malia? Last night. She was the leopard. Like in my dreams, Grace.
I know, those dreams were a warning. Now come on, get dressed.
But last night, Malia changed. She became something else. And then I blacked out, I think. How did I get home?
I followed you last night. I knew you were gonna try to sneak into a ceremony. Lucky for you that I did. If you'd been left at that circle last night, I don't know what she would have done to you.
You're wrong. Malia wouldn't hurt me.
What about Tetelo?
Tetelo. They were chanting that last night. That's the name from Gunther's journal, the woman who took the talisman.
Yes, Gabriel, it's your destiny you're facing. You can't just blunder your way through this or you'll end up dead. You have to call your great-uncle in Germany. He knows more about this than we do.
Okay, I'll call him. But Malia isn't responsible for those things, Grace. It's that spirit, that Loa. It's Tetelo.
Yeah, possession is convenient that way. Call Wolfgang, Gabriel. I'll be in the shop.
Sie haben Schloss Ritter erreicht.
This is Gabriel Knight. Can I speak to Wolfgang, please?
Ja, Herr Knight. Einen Moment bitte.
Gabriel, it's so good to hear your voice. I had such a dream last night.
There's a good reason for that, Uncle Wolfgang. We need to talk.
Gabriel fills in Wolfgang on the events of the previous evening.
It's even worse than I thought.
We have to talk about what I should do. What can you tell me about voodoo?
My library contains many books on the occult and religions, and I have read about some particularly evil voodoo cults. But you, at this point, have more direct experience than I.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
It sounds as though you have learned much during your investigation in New Orleans. Perhaps you will fill me in when we have a chance to sit down and talk.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I only know what you have told me. They seem to be very similar to the killings in Gunther's journal.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
It was just another American city to me until I started dreaming about you. Now I feel it's not safe for you there. I wish you would leave.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I have not studied the subject. I have an intense dislike for them.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I'm afraid I've never heard of it.
Do you know what Capri Sancal means?
No? What does it mean?
It means goat without horns. It's a term used for human sacrifice in voodoo.
Well, let's hope we can avoid any more of that in this family.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
No, I'm afraid not.
I've heard rumors of a secret household here in New Orleans.
Yeah, I am sure they have a temple there, but probably a very elaborate one. You should not go near it, though. Not alone.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Yeah, Teteros people wear animal masks for their rituals, don't they? It is not at all uncommon. Many occult groups are based heavily on animal totems. Animals have such pure, primal traits. Spirituality, good or bad, is about reaching these pure levels. Aggressive and cunning like the snake. Agile and nurturing like the monkey. Even our family is associated with the image of a lion.
Do you know anything about Veves?
It is a visual symbol of one or more Loa. Each Loa has its own sign, which is used to summon it.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Damballa is a snake. He is a Loa, a voodoo god.
Yes, he's one of the primary Loa of the Getty tribe.
Ah, I see. Good work. That information might prove useful.
Does Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
It is a voodoo Loa, is it not?
Yes, a particularly nasty one, so I understand. Have you come across anything about it in your research?
He seems to be feared by most voodoo groups. That's all I know.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
My library contains many books on the occult and religions, and I have read about some particularly evil voodoo cults. But you, at this point, have more direct experience than I.
What can you tell me about Schottenjägers?
Of course, I sometimes forget how little you know of the family, Gabriel. I never understood how Heinz could allow his sons to remain ignorant. But now is not the time for that discussion. Schottenjäger is really two words in English, Gabriel. Schotten means shadow, and Jäger means hunter.
Shadow hunter?
Yes, shadow hunter. We Ritters have been Schottenjägers for many centuries. No one is sure when it began or how, but we have records of ancestors as early as the 13th century fulfilling this role. Some believe that the role was given us when... but such fantasies cannot be of use to you at the moment, Gabriel. Most people are completely blind to the fact that evil does exist. Shadows of darkness, spirits, vampires, witches, demons, these things are real. It is to their advantage that the world has become so scientific, so cynical. But we know they exist, Gabriel, and we hunt them.
How do we hunt them? And why?
Why? Because it is our duty. As for how, that is something you will have to learn, but it's not easily explained over the phone.
Do you know anything about Rada drums?
Rada drums? You mean ceremonial drums?
Yes. The Getty tribe uses drummers around the quarter as relay messengers to keep track of their business.
Ah, so drums have a ceremonial use too. It would be useful to know their code, Gabriel.
I had Grace find some information on them.
I can see you already have the mind of an investigator. I hope it serves you well.
Tell me about yourself.
I hope there will be time for that later, Gabriel, after this is all over. For now, we must deal with the matter at hand.
Tell me about Tetelo.
Well, from your description of the ritual last night, I'd say that Gunther's mistress, Tetelo, is now the primary Loa for the Getty tribe. It seems she still controls them by possessing her female descendants and speaking through them. You remember in Gunther's journal he said that Tetelo was possessed by her father's Loa during the killings in Charleston. This sounds similar, but Tetelo has obviously become a much more powerful Loa than her father ever was. Probably because of the added power of the talisman.
Let's talk about the talisman.
I myself have only seen it in old sketches and paintings, and in my dreams. It was in the family for centuries before Tetelo took it. It is believed to be as old as the role of Schottenjäger itself. The talisman has genuine power. I don't know how or why, but it is so. The Schottenjäger swore to use the power for good, never for evil, for defense, not offense. We've been searching for the talisman for years. It's a terrible thing, to know that something powerful that was entrusted to us is in the wrong hands. With the talisman, Tetelo has all the power and we none. The only possible way to fight her is to regain the talisman. Then we will at least be on more equal footing.
How can we regain the talisman?
The talisman is probably buried with Tetelo's remains. That's what gives her Loa so much power. To find the talisman, we must find her remains.
Is there anything else you can tell me about the talisman?
The most important thing about the talisman is that it be once again in the hands of the Schottenjägers.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Tetelo?
I believe she truly loved Gunther. After all, she was raised to be her father's daughter. The religion was not a choice she made, but a duty she endured. How can she be blamed for that? The spirit that she has become, that is a different matter. It is utterly evil. I am certain that the lower Tetelo bears little resemblance to the woman she was before the burning in Charleston. She was once a beautiful and intelligent woman, and she probably did not deserve Gunther's betrayal. But the Tetelo we fight now is more akin to her tribe's dark gods than to anything human in nature.
How would we find Tetelo's remains?
We have pondered that question a long time, we Ritters. There are two probabilities. The first is that her remains are with the tribe in New Orleans. The other is that the remains were returned to a sacred place near the tribe's original homeland. We've tried to locate Tetelo's African homeland, but Gunther says so little in his journal about her tribe, and slaving records are practically non-existent. As for the other idea, we had no clue that Tetelo's people were in New Orleans until now.
How would we find Tetelo's remains again?
We must locate the tribe's original African homeland. Her remains might be there, or...
Let's discuss the possible African homeland.
All right. Have you learned anything that might help us locate it?
I spoke with Professor Hartridge, unfortunately for him. He thinks the tribe's name was Agree, and that they live near the Fawn tribe in what's now called the People's Republic of Benin.
This is incredible, Gabriel. I must go research this new information in my library right now.
Wait, what should I do?
Stay low. If you get a chance, you might look into the possibility that Tetelo's remains are somewhere in New Orleans. But don't try to broach their private areas without my assistance, Gabriel. You will make a fine Schottenjäger, but only if you are not dead.
Sure. I'll wait.
Goodbye then, Gabriel. And remember, if you need a place of safety, come to Schloss Ritter.